Hey everyone, it's Af here. Today I'm going to be taking you through a very brief introduction to Endnote. Now, if you're asking yourself, what is Endnote? Then you're in the right place because I'm going to show you what it is and how to use it. Even if you're you know what Endnote is, but you're still a little bit uncertain about how to use it properly, or you're a bit unfamiliar, or maybe a bit sort of nervous about all the things that it can do, then you're also in the right place. So let's get straight into it. What is Endnote? Endnote is a referencing management piece of software. It allows you to sort of catalog different bits of writing, whether that be books, journal articles, whatever you can kind of think of that would be out there. You can document it in your Endnote library. So that's the sort of the in, and the out is the ability to reference those bits of writing in your work. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. You want to download the Endnote piece of software. I think the latest, or I hope the latest, I might be a bit behind, but is Endnote X9. And from there, you want to create a new library. So I'm just going to call it test. And I usually save it as a package, but you don't need to. It kind of just keeps it all together. What does the file look like? It looks like this, little sort of paper or newspaper with an EN at the top, and it's a .enlp file. So that's what it looks like, just so you're aware. Just to kind of orientate you with the Endnote sort of window, this is where you, as you import or as you add references to your Endnote library, this is where they will stack up, and you can sort them by author or year or title or however you want them to be sorted. You can do that just by clicking on author, or if you want it to be in sort of chronological order, you can do it by year. If you want it to be in alphabetical order from title, you can just click on title and it will sort them that way. This will show you all the different attributes of the reference, so author, year, all that kind of thing. If it's a book, then the publisher, that kind of thing. If you have a PDF of the reference, that will be shown here. So that's just a very brief overview of what to sort of expect, or what to orientate you with the Endnote window. In terms of the buttons up here, I wouldn't really worry too much about them. This one might be useful because it allows you to add a reference manually. So you can type in the author here, so Smith A, for instance, or Jones B, etc. I find that pretty much you can get all of your references online. You can sort of export them from the web and then import them into your Endnote library. So I typically don't enter these things in manually. I just find them really laborious. It's prone to making mistakes, and if it's out there, then I just can't see the use of sort of wasting that time in doing it myself. You might think that you might do a better job, but generally speaking, the references that are on most reputable sites have done a pretty good job for you. You might just need to skim your eyes over it and make sure that it's matching up with what the reference should be, but generally speaking, I haven't had any problems with at least the sites that I use, and I will show you those now. So the first one that I'm going to show you is a site called PubMed, and PubMed is mostly for sort of medical research background. So it comes from the biomedical literature from Medline, so life science journals and online books, etc. So really it's only for if you're in the biomedical field, but there should be a similar kind of search engine that you should be able to search for within your own field. I think even if you use Google Scholar, that can still be able to import references into Endnote for you. So I'm just going to click on a random article. Let's just say this is the article that I want to import into my Endnote library. There's a couple of ways to actually do that. I'm just going to show you the most straightforward way that I think it's straightforward, and that's to click on this Cite button and then download the .nbib file. That's what it looks like here. It doesn't really have anything, and it's a .nbib file. If you're using a different search function, then look for something like cite or look for send to, or there should be something on the page where you should be able to download the EndNote sort of reference. And it can come in different forms. So .nbib is one form. There's also .ras, and I think there's a few formats that EndNote does support. So yeah, just have a little play around with whatever search engine search function that you're using. So great. We've downloaded the file, which has all the sort of the bits and bobs that are needed for EndNote to read it and put all the information in the right spots. And it's as easy as just double clicking on it. And there you go. It's in there. And so if I go to this reference, you can see it has listed all the authors, it has the year, has the title, and you can just sort of, click back to that. SLC25A51 is a mammalian mitochondrial, transporter, etc. And so everything's looking good. So we've got our first reference in our EndNote library. Woohoo! That's awesome. Now, you might be asking, okay, Af, that's all good, well and good for journal articles, but what about books? I'm glad that you asked. Typically, if you go to any library website, I'm just on this, UNSW library website, but if you go to Sydney University or Macquarie University, or sorry, I'm based in Sydney, Australia. So anyway, go to any sort of reputable library website, even if it might be your local community library. They should have maybe a similar kind of function. And if you just search for, something, I'm just going to search for something, random book, for instance. And let's have a look. Random walk in non-random environments. I like the sound of that one. So if you click on that, sort of similar to PubMed and other places, there should be some sort of area where it says send to, and you have a whole bunch of different options. You want to download or export the file that EndNote can read. I know that EndNote can read RAS files, so I'm going to download that one. And just so you can see, very similar to the NBIB file, it looks similar. And again, just double click on it, and there we go. We've got our random walk in non-random environments reference in our EndNote library. So we're all good to go there. So look, guys, that's about. I'll wrap it up there. In the next video, I will show you how to actually use these references to cite them in your piece of writing. So yeah, click through to the next video, and I'll see you then. All right, thanks, guys. Cheers.